Morning, friends. I thought you might want to know the answer to this question. What should a person do during Chazaras Hashatz? What should a person do during Chazaras Hashatz? Sif Daled. K'shashliach tzibur choyzar atfila, when the Shatz repeats the tefillah, hakol yesh lahem lishtoik. The tzibur should be quiet. Let's stop and focus on that phrase. During Chazaras Hashatz, the tzibur should be quiet. Now, he's not coming to say that you shouldn't look at your phone, because you're not allowed to have a phone in a shul. If you bring your phone into your shul, you're basically telling Hashem that you have no interest in actually making an attempt to pray to Him. You might be a good Jew in other ways. You might do other things that are correct, but tefillah won't be one of them. So the first step is, even before you open up Mishna Berura, is you need to leave your phone outside of the shul. Don't tell me it's on silent. No, you are too tethered to your phone for that to help. Okay, that just by way of introduction. You know, there are certain things. Your mother has to be Jewish, you have to have a bris milah, and you need to leave your phone outside of the shul. Those are like the basics. Then you could start practicing Judaism. But now we're talking about what else should you do. Now some people, they turn into money changers during Chazaras Hashatz. They go to the pushka and they fiddle around with nickels and pennies. Pal, Trump already stopped printing pennies. Forget the pennies. There are no more pennies. You don't need pennies. Why do you care about nickels and dimes during Chazaras Hashatz? Forget the pushka. You need to be quiet and to listen and to be mechavein to the brachos that the chazan is mevarich v'lanois amen. V'im ein tisha mechavnin leberchosav. If you don't have 9 people who are mechavein to your bracha, karov lias berchosav levatala. It's close that the brachos of the Shatz are levatala. Therefore, every person should view himself as if there are not 9 without him, and listen to and be attentive to the brachas of the chazan. Some say that everyone should stand when the chazan says Chazaras Hashatz. Says Mishra, Yeshal Mishta, Kainu, Lo mi baisha aso lo imer imashech tzibur kol bracha da bracha vatala. It goes without saying that it's usher to say with the Shatz the whole bracha, because that's a bracha levatala. Afilu leminkad imoy eza tevois me'em tzoi. Even to say along some brachas from the middle brachas gamkin einachain. It's also not correct. We're afraid that out of the frequency and the custom, the habit of your mouth, yotzi bracha mipev. Okay, now we're talking to you. You who say, Avraham, Yagel, Yitzchak, v'hasiyenu, b'chag ha'matzais. You're now to do that. Hamagbim kolim mezam hashatz, dahava kiyuara, it's gaiva. It's gaiva. V'yesh ligor b'hem. You should scream at them. That's what we're doing. We're screaming at you now. Stop it already. Stop singing along with the chazan. If they wanted you to daven for Amud, the Gabe would have asked you to daven. There's a reason he didn't ask you. He asked the other guy. Okay? When you go home, you want to subject your family to that? You know, that's between you and them. But don't subject the rest of the tzibur to it. Dahava kakalas rosh. It's also levity. Levity. We know you want attention. So you want attention by the kiddush, come up with some kind of comedy routine, say something funny, and people will laugh at you. But that the shul is not your opportunity. Now what about talking? That we'll get to in Sif Zayin. Kasav b'Sif Zayin. Okay.
Does this include singing along with the chazan?
No, by kedusha, you mean?
Or any time,
No, it's talking about Chazaras Hashatz. Talking about Chazaras Hashatz.
About Rosh Yom Kippur, some people, would say along with the chazan, Rabbi Meir says just don't be mavia koilos. So singing along with the chazan, I assume, would not be a problem. Just the tune.
What you mean saying the Shar Tshuva brings the Dirshu quotes Yesh noigim la'omram yachad im hashatz. Ach yizor shlo yegbi es kolev gam yom rimoy siyam habracha. Yeah, I don't know. Mishna Berura didn't bring that down, you know? So does that mean he doesn't hold to that? He doesn't agree with that? Not sure. Okay. Now, next. Siv Kadin Yadzain Ulchavin Alkein Yesh Lizar Milomer Tachnunim Oilomoid Beis Chazaras Hashatz. Therefore, you have to be careful not to say supplications or to learn during Chazaras Hashatz. Avafilu mechavnin b'seif l'seif habracha. Even if you're mechavin to the end of the bracha, lanois amen karoi. Even if you have kavana to the end of the bracha to answer amen properly, shaloi tia amen yisoima kamay shezbar gam ken lo yafe himaisim. It's not correct. She'im haloimdim yifnu lelimudam, because if those who learn will turn to their learning, amei aretz yomadu mehem shaloi lahazim l'shiach tzibor, then unlearned people will learn from that not to be attentive to the shiach tzibor. They're going to be involved in shatter. Chas v'sham nimtzu machtian es harabim. It comes out they're causing the rabbim to sin. Now, the Sefer Vavei Ho'amudim says, I am moicha, and those people, they're mispalel, tchinois, bakashos, during Chazaras Hashatz. Whatever they ask for will not be given to them. Whatever they have, God will take away from them. That's not a good thing. Here the guy is whipping out his klaf, because he thinks he's going to make more parnasa by rattling that thing off during Chazaras Hashatz. Says the Vavei Amudim, I would throw a rotten tomato at him. Not only that, I would tell him God's not going to give him money. And whatever money he has, God's going to take away. That's pretty strong. Now, what if the chazan pauses during Chazaras Hashatz? The Grois Moshe says, if the chazan pauses for whatever reason, you can't even learn then. You have to conduct yourself, Rav Moshe says, as if you're Mel Shmon Esrei. Now, this din, that it's only alza gezerah, that somebody might learn from you and talk, that's when you know for sure there are 9 people are answering Amen. But if you don't have 9 people, Rav Moshe says, then you're chayiv me'yikra din to answer, to listen to the whole Chazaras Hashatz, not just the end of the bracha. Now, what if you finish one esrei after the shots? So anyway, you miss part of Chazaras Hashatz. You still have to listen to the rest. What if somebody is marich b'tfilasa, and because of that he loses out from listening to part of Chazaras Hashatz? The Ben Ish Chai writes in Parshas Kisisa, Shana Aleph Ois Vav, Ein shum chisaron b'tfilasai. Now, if somebody is maver Sedra during Chazaras Hashatz, are you yotzei? No. It's a mitzvah haba ba'avera. It's a mitzvah above it, you got to do it again. So that's a good trivia question. How is it possible that somebody has to be maver Sedra, the Parsha, Arba Mikra Ushnayim Targum? And so the answer is, if they did it during Chazaras Hashatz. I once had a big shaila. I was once invited to a siyum of a guy, and I know he learned the Masechta during Chazaras Hashatz. And it was during the 9 days. And I'm not going to say what the answer is right now. Okay? There is a shita, the Ramami Pano, that you could learn by Chazaras Hashatz. We don't paskin that way. We don't paskin that way. Does it have any ramification? Off the air. Okay? But halacha l'maisa, you can't do it.
You said you're allowed to, or ein limchos?
I think more than ein limchos. That's again if there's more than 9. We don't. That's a das yacha. We don't hold that way. What about? Are you allowed to think in learning during Chazaras Hashatz? So again, if according to the Mechaber you can't, because you need to treat yourself like you're one of the 9 people answering Amen, right? You need to treat yourself like you're one of the 9 people answering Amen. Now, so it comes out. The only reason you can't learn is people are going to learn from you. What if you're thinking? So the Dirshu says it's okay. But Reb Chaim Kanievsky says you still shouldn't do it. Are you allowed to write Chidushei Torah during Chazaras Hashatz? No. Are you allowed to take off your Rashi tefillin and put on your Rabbeinu Tam tefillin? No. You can't do it. You're now to be oisek in something else. You can't do it. I am listening to every word. You can do it in middle Shemona Esrei. You can't do it during Chazaras Hashatz. If, let's say, you're not davening at that minyan, you're allowed to learn in the Beis Medrash, then yes. Are you allowed to collect Tzedaka during Chazaras Hashatz? No. If you're Maver Sedra, are you Yoitze? He brings in Dirshu, Vaday no. It's a mitzvah abba ba'avera. You have to do it again. And you won't be matzliach in your learning. Okay, what other goodies that we have on this? He says, okay, weiter. Ki'ilu ein tisha, al kein yer l'chachil l'chavin l'shmaya kol ha'bracha v'lo yisrav bracha levad. Since you have to view yourself as if there are 9 without you, you need to listen to the whole bracha and not just the end of the bracha. V'chavein, and you should be mechavein to the berachas hachazan va'olam nogin l'tzarf l'minyan u'l'spal chazaras hashatz afilu mi sheyodim b'y shemesiach ve'eno shemeh chazaras hashatz karoi. The minhag is that you bring into a minyan to daven Chazaras Hashatz, even a guy that you know he's talking and is not listening properly. The question is, you don't really have a minyan. V'nirali, says the Chav would seem to me the charayin zeh toiv l'snai k'may shekasa b'sefer Shulchan Shloimei sheyasne hashatz beinoi lebein atzmai. The Shulchan Shloimei says that the Shatz should make a Tanai, b'chazaras hatfilah shem lo ya'anu tisha amein achrav. If you don't have 9 people answering, b'chavnu l'berchoitzav shei atfilah hi b'tars nedava, that his tefillah should be a tfilas nedava. What do you do on Shabbos? What do you do on Shabbos? You can't make a Tanai. There's no nedava. Rav Chaim Kanievsky says you say it. Now the question is, what do you mean? The Mechaber said it's Karev Hadavar Liyos Brachas Levatal. So I want to tell you something. In America, the minhag is that once you have 6 people that finish Shemona Esrei, you start Chazaras Hashatz. Straight up. The Mechaber says Karev L'Berchaisav. Yeah, it's close, but it's not. It's Karev. That's what Rabbi Shmuel first told me. That it's Karev L'Berchaisav Levatal. But L'maisa, most places they're not. You know, if you have a minyan mitzumtzum, you're always going to have a guy. I don't know what the guy's doing. He can't read the Aleph Beis, but all of a sudden he's having Kavanas Rashash, you know? So you're not going to wait for the guy. You go on, you move, you go. And it's L'maisa, not L'Batala. We had the Svara earlier. The Svara is, why were they Misakin Chazaras Hashatz? For Einoi Baki. But you don't have an Einoi Baki. Once in a while there's an Einoi Baki. Yeah, but right now there's no Einoi Baki. That's Takonas Chazal is to say these brachas. It's not a bracha levatala. It's maybe karoiv, but it's not a bracha levatala. Anyway, weiter. Ya'amdu. The Ramah says the minhag. Some say everyone should stand. Taimam kivan shemechavnim v'shem mishel tzibur. The reason is, since they're mechavin and they listen to the shel tzibur, v'shoymea ka'oina, uki'ilu mispalim ba'atzmam damya. It's like they daven themselves. The minhag of the Arizal was he would stand by Chazaras Hashatz with his feet together, and he would even do the kriyos during the baruchs and the moedim in the beginning and end. Rav Soloveitchik would stand during Chazaras Hashatz with his feet together, following the practice of the Gemara, namely that Chazaras Hashatz is tfilas hatzibur, and therefore he would consider it like a real Shemona Esrei. Okay, but that's not halachically required. V'chein hoya minhag hakadmonim. That was the minhag of the kadmonim. Let's see what he brings over here. Are you allowed to lean on a shtender during Chazaras Hashatz? No. According to this minhag of the Rama, no. That's if to lean in a way that if you take away the thing, you would fall. He brings over here in the Dirsha a very interesting lumdus of Rav David Kohen, that according to the Beis Halevi, who understands that Shoymea Koina is that it's as if you yourself are saying it, so it's like you yourself are davening, and you need to stand. And even according to the Chazon Ish, that it's not the pshat, it's like you're saying it, but that the words of the mashmiya are attributed to the Shoymea. It doesn't mean the Shoymea is not davening at all. It's that the mashmiya is moitzi him. So since it's considered like you're davening, you should still stand. But if it's hard for a person to stand, meaning this is a real thing. Halacha for Ashkenazim is you should stand for Chazaras Hashatz. This is not a custom, it's a halacha. This is not a minhag. The Ramah brings down, you need to stand for Chazaras Hashatz. What if it's difficult to stand? So, the Aruch HaShulchan says, the Kaf HaChaim says, you could be mekel, okay? If it's hard to stand, you could be mekel. If you bike 5 miles a day, and all of a sudden it's hard to stand by Chazaras Hashatz, it's a little incongruous. What about, what?
If it's like you're dominant, should you have to keep your feet together too then?
No, you don't have to do that. You don't have to do that. Keeping feet together is more of a minhag. Standing is a halacha. So, now what about during Chazaras Hashatz? What about during Yom Noraim? Do you need to stand the whole Chazaras Hashatz? So we just said, it's difficult. If it's difficult, yesh lahakel. Rabbi Yosef said, that something very interesting, based on the Marsham, that the Isser to stand, to pass by someone who's davening, only if he's saying the Ikar Tefillah Shatikno Anshik Knesset Gdoila. Now when he's Moisav Tfilas V'Tachanunim. So the same thing it would be for, Chazaras Hashatz. So come out like this. If you need to sit for Chazaras Hashatz, usually I will sit for parts of Chazaras Hashatz on Yom Noraim. It's better to sit during it's better to sit during a piyut than to sit during the Chazaras Hashatz Chazaras proper. What would be better to sit? You don't have to stand up when the Arna Kodesh is open, right? Meaning, in other words, better to sit during V'chom Aminim, right? Better to sit, I don't know about V'chom Aminim, it's a very important piyut, but better to sit during a piyut with the Aron open, l'chayra, than to sit during Chazaras Hashatz proper. Yeah? I don't think most people do that, but that's what l'chayra, it makes sense that standing up with the Aron open is not me'ikar hadin. Only when the Sefer Torah is moving. Standing up during Chazaras Hashatz is me'ikar hadin. Yeah? Does anybody say that? I don't know. We said that. Okay.
Practice of standing up by Hamelech HaKadosh and end of the brachas on.
Maybe that's just out covered. I don't know if it has basis.
I thought I heard maybe on this year from maybe Meir Jacobson a while ago, because I saw his father used to do it in yeshiva, and I believe they said the reason because halacha he's really be standing the whole Shemona Esrei. At least for the brachas to stand up for that, so you caught that part of Shemona Esrei. You can't stand at least for the bracha. The end of the bracha wasn't just Hamelech HaKadosh, it was also end of the.
Right, that's a tefillah. That's a Tiferes Yisrael special.
I think they said it was in Queens also. So she was. I'm not sure.
Yeah.
I know.
Okay. Speak to your people. Okay. Sifhei. Sifhei. Al kol bracha shadam shamei b'chol makom oimer baruch hu u'baruch shema. Whenever you hear a bracha, you respond baruch hu baruch shema. It says Mishna Berura oimer v'mu oimer b'makom she'eino rasha lahafsik. If you're in a spot that you can't interrupt, kugam b'psukei de zimra v'kol shegem b'chas kriya shema. Afilu bein abrakam asal amra. You can't say Baruch Hu Baruch Shema at a time you're not how to talk. V'chein im shama bracha shechayev bai. Likewise, if you heard a bracha that you're chayev in, v'hu miskavin latzei sayidei ha'mavarch, and you want to be yotzei through the mavarich, keberchas shofar u'megillah v'kiddush v'chahagavna in lanes Baruch Hu Baruch Shema. Whenever you're being yotzei the bracha, you don't answer Baruch Hu Shema. The shemei ka'ina u'kamanda amar ba'atzmei habracha dami. It's like you yourself said the bracha. V'have hefsik b'bracha. V'ayin b'chai adam denisha b'tzarchiyin l'inyan b'di'eved. The chai adam leaves off as a tzarchiyin if b'di'eved you're allowed to answer Baruch Hu Baruch Shema. In other words, b'di'eved if you did, whether you're yotzei. In other words, you're not allowed to answer Baruch Hu Baruch Shema if you're being yotzei the bracha. Do you answer Baruch Hu Baruch Shema on the Bruchas HaTorah? When somebody gets an aliyah, do you answer Baruch Hu Baruch Shema? Do you answer Baruch Hu Baruch Shema? I don't answer Baruch Hu Baruch Shema. I'm not a big Baruch Hu Baruch Shema answerer, but there are many times you're not allowed to say it. You know, if you're middle of davening, you can't say it. But I don't. Do you say it for the bracha on the Haftarah? It sort of goes with the tune. Yeah, everybody says it. Everyone's shaking their hand. They don't do it, but they do it.
What about Berachas Kehana?
No, it's usher to do it for Berachas Kehana.
Why do we do it during Chazaras Hashatz?
1 second. By the bracha on the Haftarah, all the people who shook their head say it. Baruch atah Hashem, Baruch Baruch Shemai. Yeah. And the more they shake their head, the more they're confirming that they do it. But yeah, the whole tzibur says it. But I'm not sure you're supposed to say it because why not? Is the what? Because you're trying to be yotzei mea brachas. So any time you want to be yotzei mea brachas, you can't answer Baruch Hu Baruch Shema. Is that so? Only on Shabbos, but so on the Tainus you do say it.
And it's also your show. You're not eating.
Okay. Ukamanda Omer ba'atzar bracha dahav vayim chadna shem tzarchil in diavad nearly the diavad ein lahachmer b'zeh ayin b'seif magin bar mashakasa b'shem masei roikeach. Whether you answer whether b'diavad you're yotzei the bracha or not. Meaning, you ready? Let's see what he says. What's the reason you're not allowed to answer Baruch Hu Baruch Shema when you're not being mafsik? Because it's not brought in the Gemara. And therefore, also in middle of Hallel, Rav Chaim Kanievsky says you don't say Baruch Hu Baruch Shema. The Eishal Avram Abuchat says that when he would be the Chazan, he would not say Baruch Atah Hashem Yoitzer HaMa'oros. He would just say Yoitzer HaMa'oros, so as not to have the people say Baruch Hu Baruch Shema. I think Rabbi Yashav would say if you do that, then nobody's davening b'tzibur, because the ikar tefillah b'tzibur is to conclude the end of every bracha, which means Baruch Atah Hashem. Do you answer Baruch Hu Baruch Shema on brachas on the Torah and the Haftarah? The Elef Hamogen on the Matei Ephraim says you could. What about on Shabbos when you want to be mashing the Meir brachas? It's not a problem. The Reb Chaim Kanievsky says that since some say sheyotzim b'zeh yidei chayva, you do not answer Baruch Hu Baruch Shema to the berachas on the Torah or the Haftarah. Now, what chayva? Is it the chayva of Meir brachos, or is it the chayva of your chayiv in Kriyas HaTorah? So this is a bracha that you need to make. Now, I'm sorry, I'm taking you. The Ma'aser Rekech says that you should answer Baruch Shema even when you're being yotzei, because since you're answering it to give Hoidat Hashem, you answer Baruch Baruch Shema. The Maram Shik says in the Chasam Sofer's Beis Medrash they would answer Baruch Baruch Shema even on brachas that they were yotzei, and he didn't say anything. Rabbi say, have a great day. Kol Tov. Sorry for the.
During Chazaras Hashatz.
Recording stopped.
No, what?